Welcome to the Beskar Briefing, episode 4.
All right, my name is Bradley Ford.
Vishnu Prasad Rao.
Today on the Beskar Briefing, we've got who would win in a fight. We've got the Strongman Struggle with Goku versus Superman, the Battle of the Gods with Thor versus Wonder Woman, and who's the next top warrior princess with Merida and Mulan. Might have a couple matchups for you and more on the Beskar Briefing.
This is the way.
This is the way.
So, like we said, I'm Vishnu Prasad Rao.
And I'm Bradley Ford, and let's jump right into it. This is the
Yes,
Beskar Briefing.
Beskar Briefing, episode 4. So, right now we have our first matchup. This is a matchup topic. Who is going to win in this
so we're
fight?
playing who would win in a fight. We've got 3 different matchups. Might throw in one or two more if we've got time, but definitely these are ones that would stump somebody. You don't typically have an immediate answer to these.
Yeah, it's not. It's not like Mario versus Bowser. Like, Mario's gonna win, but like.
Exactly.
So nice.
Yeah.
But and when we're doing this, we're going to establish like their baselines, maybe like why these people would be fighting, or at the very least like what their preparation is and
Right.
what
Do they
can
have
they
time?
do.
Yeah, do they have time?
If they had an amount of time,
Right.
who would be victorious?
I feel like where they're fighting too is important.
Where they're fighting is important, and I think we could discuss that, maybe not necessarily in the actual fight,
Right.
but just like as points for why the other would win.
Right.
But either way, we can jump right into it, I think.
Okay, so who's the first matchup?
The first one is the Strong Boy Struggle. Goku versus Superman.
Call me Kakarot.
Goku versus Superman.
Superman?
Yeah, man. So
The
these
Man
are
of
two.
Steel versus the killer of Earth, who became the protector of Earth.
Protector of Earth, the Saiyan born on planet Earth,
Mm-hmm.
Son Goku. So
Son
let's
Goku.
talk about that, because I have a very strong opinion. Now, I know I said before that these aren't typically obvious matchups, but this one to me is pretty obvious.
You think so? All right. I think
So.
Uh,
Go for it.
So, since you think it's obvious, why don't you just go ahead and spew out what you think is in your mind? I don't want to hear.
Absolutely. In my personal opinion, Goku is sweeping this fight. Let me tell you.
Goku.
Yeah.
See,
So,
I got a Goku back here too.
hey man, I'm so aside from being a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, I'm obviously a huge DC fan as well.
Right.
And I mean, Superman. Let's be honest. Superman is an unstoppable entity. He I think in Injustice, kind of puts the beat down on the gods.
Mm-hmm.
So like he really is. He's a force to be reckoned with. He's no joke.
I ain't no joke.
That being said, Goku. Like I think that what needs to be established here is that in Goku in the Dragon Ball universe, especially by like the end of the Frieza saga,
Right.
when he first gets that Super Saiyan form, every single person that you're fighting or dealing with is on a completely different level.
I tell you, people, I'm on a different level.
Like
Yeah, you
mortals,
have who's
like
first?
regular
The androids.
mortals.
Who's first? The androids, then Cell.
Yeah, like regular
Yeah,
mortals
and
don't stand a chance against the Z fighters.
It's a lot.
Whereas in the DC universe, even people like Batman or
Lex Luthor.
Green Arrow, even though they're very powerful, they're very powerful in the sense they have money, they have wits, they're smart, they can do extraordinary things. But even people who can do normal people who can do extraordinary things are legitimately no match for Goku, no match for Vegeta, no match for Frieza,
They were no match for his bodacity.
or any one of those super powerful entities. So by that logic, just the people who he fights on a regular basis, Goku sweeps it. Goku can also just accidentally destroy the world if he really wanted to.
I think
His Kamehameha wave.
You've seen Super, right? And that battle with Beerus, and they're scared. The first battle. I mean, I think there's only one real battle where they're he's trying to find an adversary or something, and he sees when Goku starts matching up on that Super Saiyan God level.
Yeah.
And everyone is scared. Like the Kais are scared that he's gonna blow up the that side of the universe.
He's just that good.
Yeah, and the reason why it's not happening after so many blows is because Goku's matching like the things so perfectly. So like even in a fight, he's able to like play around.
Right. And then like also Goku, like, so my argument too is that if you wanted to go by standard, like as we know these characters, Goku by the time he fought Vegeta, I think would beat the standard Superman, the Superman that everyone knows and loves, without like the most common form of Superman.
When he's like Kaioken, during like
like he just has like Kaioken times 4, and I think he might have a back and forth.
I might have to disagree with you there because I think that the standard Superman is like, I think Superman oftentimes gets thrown under with his origin stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if that's the standard Superman, then yeah, I think that. But it's like, I think the Superman that's like established, you know, like kind of has been around for a while, like has married Lois Lane, that type of Superman versus Super Saiyan Goku would be the best matchup. You know, like I feel like that's more fair. Even. But
that's
like,
fair. I think
like you said,
they're both like equal power.
Yeah, I think another thing is that just to I think my answer would also be Goku, because given the amount of time, like I think Goku's fight, it's kind of like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan said that he never lost a game; he just ran out of time. So it's like Goku's like he never lost a match; he just ran out of time with his power, maybe, or like he's ran out of like gas or something. Like he never lost though, but like that's what I think of Goku is that given enough time, like if he is able to like recover afterwards and then get stronger, like I think that's how the Saiyans work. Is like they get beat up and they get stronger afterwards, which is insane logic, but okay. Like that, if that happens,
this is not
like,
fair.
Yeah, like that's not fair because then Superman be like, what? Like I just beat you, but now you're like 10 times stronger. It's like, yeah, that's how the Saiyans work.
And I'm back, bitch.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't help. But I think the one thing that goes well for Superman is that he only has one weakness. Granted, everyone knows what it is, but kryptonite is his only weakness, right? And so
I feel like Goku wouldn't even allow him to use kryptonite. Goku would just be like, "No, I'll just fight you right now."
Goku wants to beat you straight up. So I think Goku, you can call it arrogance or boneheadedness or like pure love of fight sport.
Saiyan pride.
Yeah.
One of so many different things.
A mix of all. So I think that may hinder him in these things. Is that he might play around too much.
Stop messing around.
Whereas Superman,
I'm under no illusions that like Goku is nowhere near intellectually
right. Like Superman's smart. Like I don't think people give Superman enough credit.
Superman is intelligent.
Superman woke up one day and he was like, "Oh, I need a job. Like, why don't I just become a reporter for the best newscasting in all of the U.S. and the world, basically." Like, I don't think people realize how gifted you have to be to just do that. And he outsmarts. And how many times does he outsmart Lex Luthor, the smartest man in the world? So, intellect. I don't think there's a question. Goku fighting anyone, Goku loses in intellect. So.
Yeah, in intelligence, Goku loses.
But yeah, I think the one thing is that like I said, that just to play like, I don't know, devil's advocate, or like just to point out facts for Superman, is like he has one weakness, whereas Goku does have other weaknesses, right? It's like he can get killed, like he sacrifices himself to kill Raditz. Remember initially it's like he can die with those type of blasts. Maybe initially too, but even then later he can die with the blast. Whereas like Superman's not dying with anything other than kryptonite. So I don't know where you stand on that. It's like, does that help that he has a known weakness?
I don't know, because I will say Superman will die to certain trauma because like Darkseid's able to kill him.
Yeah.
And then real quick, my dad just texted me saying I have to come here, so let me see what that's about. We can edit this part out.
All right, we'll pause for a second.
A few moments later.
Party, 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 party.
3 days later. Many months later. 1 eternity later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Sorry about that, man. My diploma came in the mail.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, man.
You're
That's
good.
awesome.
See, this is a graduate right here. I mean, mine's right there. Yeah, graduates.
Yeah, man.
Smarticles.
We got 2 college grads right now.
Right now, man. You know, COVID-19. All right.
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, so you were talking about, just to get us back on track, about Darkseid and how he's able to kill Superman. And that's the problem, is that I think Goku, like I said, when it's comics, is difficult to make these arguments because there's so many iterations of each character. It's like, which one are you talking about? And it's like, I guess if you're taking the best of each version, then it might be easier. But I don't know. It's like, are you talking about like the Superman who dies? Like that, obviously that one's not gonna beat Goku. But it's like, are you talking about a Superman who's like OP, like kind of like turns bad, like the bad Superman in a sense?
I mean,
like,
I think we could honestly, whatever is currently canon, we could do, or just like if we wanted to say what Superman is at his strongest versus what Goku is at his strongest.
I think that's the easiest, because it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just Superman's OP, right?
Yeah.
But like, I feel like the reason why people are not giving him the death of Superman so many times in modern times, especially in the comic series, is to make him a more relatable and I guess interesting character. Because if you
give the other superheroes a chance,
right? I think that's why it's like in the wake of like Superman's death, it's like, what are they gonna do? It's like, are they screwed? Or it's like, yeah. So that's why I don't know. It's like, if Superman, that's my argument. Is like, if Superman only has one weakness, like one known weakness, and Goku's like throws it out the window because that's his personality. He's like, hey, we're not gonna use this. Would he be able to beat it? It's like,
I think so. Because Goku's weaknesses, yes, I agree, are like...
Couldn't Superman just fly him into the sun? Like, wouldn't that just be...
I feel like Superman would actually have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
Because of how strong Goku is.
Right.
Goku's no weakling. Like, he can, like, say what you will, he goes to other galaxies, trains at 10, 15, 1,000 times normal Earth's gravity.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think... For sure, I think that Goku would win. I mean, it would be a good fight to watch for sure. But, like, Goku would win in my estimation. But it's just difficult to rule Superman out because it's like...
Oh, yeah. No, I understand that, even though I don't. Because, like, by the time... like, I respect that. But by the time you get to, like, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan...
Right. Then it's a different level because you're talking about galaxies.
Because, again, we're talking about, like, these two characters... at their strongest.
Right. And so...
Goku's not losing.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Even if you watch, like, I don't know if you watch the CW shows, it's like, Superman can get beat a few times. It's like... Yeah. I don't know. It's like... And that's what I think. It's part of this new wave to make Superman more human.
And I'm even going to argue and say, like, the golden Superman, because, you know, there's a thing where Superman, if he flies into the sun, he comes out, like, 3 days later, he's like a golden god.
Right.
Like, he's supercharged.
Because he's, like, supercharged, right? So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, basically invincible. But, like...
But could he just outsmart him? That's my only thing, is, like... Cause
that's the thing. But how would he outsmart him? Because there's also the argument that, like, Superman... I don't think Superman would play dirty.
Are you suggesting I play dirty?
Because Goku's not, like, threatening the galaxy. If this is just, like, a fight, like, hey, let's just see who wins.
I'm just trying to give what their positives and negatives are. It's like, Goku's negative is definitely his mindset and his personality and obviously his intellect. But, in the same breath, Goku is also willing to do whatever it takes to win.
That's true.
Remember, against Raditz, he kills himself. Even against Cell, remember?
He kills himself.
Again. So it's like, just because he has to transport himself.
Fighting with Vegeta, he threatens to kill himself because Kaioken was supposed to kill him, or at least severely injure him.
Like, paralyze him for a while or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, Goku's willing to do whatever it takes. And I don't know if Superman... I mean, I think Superman sure is. But, like, he has, I'm sure, but in the past, like, but the mindset, and then Goku's training. Remember,
Goku has a lot of combat training.
Yeah,
I trained myself.
It's like Superman's like doesn't really have a lot of combat training until later. So like initially, like
Superman doesn't really learn how to fight. He just knows he can hit hard until he hits.
Right, and he hits hard, and then he flies, and then he hits hard. Right, like we've seen the battles. Like, oh yeah, but it's like Goku and stuff, it's like they're hitting like 14, 15 different combos, legs, everything, arms, elbows, and
they've got like active fighting.
And then even like the World Martial Arts Tournament arcs in the Dragon Ball, they're talking about like Goku's like impenetrable defense and all that. And so I think that's definitely like part of it. It's like because they're really talking about like Goku, man, he has impenetrable defense. Look at that, like you can't phase him, and he's literally just standing like this. It's like
hit him.
Yeah, and
because I think Goku's faster than Superman.
Oh yeah, and because you can't see him, right? You can't see.
Exactly.
And then another thing is that
you might not be able to see Superman, but Superman can't move faster than. Okay, there are times where he can go back in time,
right.
But I don't think Superman can move faster than time. And Goku can actually move faster than time.
Right. And even remember, Goku has instant transmission. Like, let's just say that's in play.
He can move instantaneously.
That, like, if he just wants to, he just says, okay, and then puts his instant transmission, and then he's out of it. So it's like, yeah. And plus, Goku has Superman does not have this ability. Like, I'm trying to give each of them their pluses and minuses. Goku has the ability to fuse. Let's say he wants to. Like he's like
that's true.
He just fuses.
So yeah, I didn't want to bring that up because that's technically not Goku's power.
But it's a technique. You know?
It is a technique, and if he did that,
yeah,
dude, I'm sorry,
Superman's out.
Big done.
Yeah, so I think we're in agreement that Superman is not winning, but it'd be a good fight.
I'd say it'd be a good fight.
It'd be a good fight until Goku goes like ape.
Yeah, it's something else. Goku's gonna stall it until he can't stall it anymore.
Right.
Like so, it would definitely be a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, and Goku also learns about people's techniques. Really,
he does.
So
he does. So for all of his stupidity, he does. Yeah. He does.
He knows about fighting. He knows about fighting. I'll say maybe he lacks every other type of knowledge, but he's knowledgeable about fighting.
He knows how to fight.
I know some karate.
Because I think that's a type of intelligence, isn't it? It is, because I'm a black belt.
It is, most certainly is.
I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, so like trying to see techniques and like what they favor. Like, do they favor kicking with their right and left or left side? Like Goku would analyze that while fighting you. So
definitely.
And like I said, Superman's he's a farm boy from Kansas, so he's not really a fighter. As much as he is a superhero, he's
not. I think it takes him a significant amount of time.
That's why even Batman wins against him, right? He's like, he analyzes his techniques. It's like, Superman's not going to do that. He doesn't. I don't think he has the mental like patience to sit there and be like.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like he's a natural talent, and I think it would take years for him to get to the same combat intelligence that Goku has.
But let's say like Lois Lane is somehow helping Superman. If we're giving Goku a way to fuse, then maybe it evens out a little bit more again. Because Lois Lane's, she's probably the smartest person to help Superman.
Or Batman,
Right. If Batman
we wanted to give Goku Vegeta, we could give Superman Batman.
Then it might be.
Then there'd probably be a good fight on their hands at the very least.
Right, because they're completing each other's weaknesses.
You complete me.
So, yeah. But again, I don't think Goku's losing. Goku's not losing to anyone. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. Goku just doesn't lose.
He should have, if we were talking about, if Dragon Ball Z ended at Buu, like it's Dragon Ball Z and it just ended, then we might have we might be split. But the fact that it went into Super and he became a god, like, he became a god.
And I think they're still trying to continue it. I feel weird saying that, but I feel like they're still trying to continue it.
They are.
And I'm very curious as how the hell they do that.
They are, because it's like, all they do is introduce someone who's even, like, they went to God, for Pete's sake, to start the series. It's like, they don't know.
But how, bro? Like, how
who's going to fight the God? Like, it's going to be like, oh, now we're at the creator level. It's like, what? What are you talking? He already went to the Kais, and they were supposed to be gods, and now it's like gods of destruction, and then it's...
And now it's different universe gods.
Yeah, and it's just a lot. So I don't know where they're going. But
they're I feel like they have to make Goku or Vegeta a god of destruction.
Right.
And then have to make like a series about that process or something like that, you know. And maybe they have to fight people to get to that title. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like
to attain that divinity, you have to, all that. So.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we've gone completely off topic at this point.
Yeah, we have. Sorry about that. We'll just move on to the next one because Goku wins.
At least the audience knows we're not posers. We know we at least know about the fandoms that we talk about.
Right. So,
look, I know what I'm talking about.
So Goku wins. Good job, Kakarot.
Yeah, Steel Crew. Kakarot. Anyway,
okay.
Next up is the Battle of the Gods.
Now we're ready. It was a good transition into God divinity.
Yeah, it really was actually. Thor versus Wonder Woman.
I am the god of thunder!
Now I feel like I need to say something, and if
I
nothing
feel
else,
strongly about this one. I'm just gonna say that. Not about
does
who's
Wonder
gonna
Woman
win.
really count as a god? Like, I know she's an Amazon.
She's like a demigod, right?
She's a demigod. Okay, I'm just wondering. And I mean, technically, they call Thor a demigod too, so I guess it also is kind
like
of weird.
Thor is a god, but he's also doesn't have every power. So he's
also technically not immortal, but
right.
They are.
It's a little foggy there. So, I feel strong.
So,
the reason why I feel strongly, let me just preface this, is because these are two of my favorite comic book heroes.
And hey, man, if you feel strongly about it, go right ahead and you start this.
So I'm split because Thor is my favorite. Like, he's in my top 3 superhero comic book like people I love all time.
Yeah, sure.
All time, because I think his progression is so, not just in MCU but even the comics. It's like the amount of stuff he has to go through. Not just that, but his ability to use his Thordom in a sense, like his godly wisdom.
Yeah.
Without having to use his lightning, comes in play so many times. So that's why I think he's really unique, because he's portrayed as a brute, right? But he's more than a brute, you come to see. So it's like he has to learn how to become wise. So I think that's why it's really cool, because it's like, how do you teach someone who has used a hammer their whole life to swing and crush, right?
How do you then teach them to temper their anger, or use reason?
Logic. I'm sick to death of logic.
Cool. But yeah, back on track. What was I saying?
You're talking about like teaching a brute how to be wise.
And it's like because remember, I think we get part of that in Ragnarok, where he's like, or even in Ragnarok, where he's like, a hammer is a tool, and so it can be brute force where you're just swinging and crushing everything, but it can also learn how to build something.
How to create
create something finely using it like as a tool. So I think that's why it's really cool, is that Thor at being a god but having to learn is really interesting. And that's why I like him a lot. And then I like Wonder Woman a lot, because I think she always offers, like, she's the real talk, always.
Real talk alert.
She's like just like what everyone would think, or like what people need to do. She'll say it. She's not afraid of like just being like, here's the thing. And then go right into it. So that's why I like these two characters a lot. That being said, I'm probably choosing Wonder Woman.
Really?
And I don't know. Maybe that's a surprise. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's surprising. But I just think that Wonder Woman, she defeats Ares multiple times. So
True.
She's able to defeat other gods. Not that saying Thor doesn't. He defeats his own sister, but he has to. Every time he does that, there's like a consequence and something like that. But whenever Wonder Woman beats someone, it's just like OP, out of the way. Now there are times where she's like bested. Don't get me wrong, but I think that again, intelligence goes to her.
She's smarter than that.
Definitely.
Not saying that Thor is not intelligent, but most of the time he's depicted as not. So
yeah, he's goofy, and she's just not goofy at all.
So she's gonna win in terms of strategy, and then their power levels are kind of like, I don't know. She's the daughter of Zeus, and he's the son of Odin. So it's like their power levels are kind of on the same level. Mm-hmm. I would say that Thor's probably brute strength stronger a little bit, but you can't deny Diana's weapons training. So I think that her combat level is better than his. So that's why I'm giving her the edge. Does that make sense? Because she's trained by Amazon. Like people say, she's by birth an Amazon, and also this demigod. So she's like uber powerful, but also has the training to back it up. If we're going back to the last topic, like Goku, like he has the training. So she also has the training too. So I think that counts. That has to count for like a plus. That's why I'm giving the edge to Wonder Woman. I'm not saying it's like an outright. It's not an outright dub, but it's there.
Yeah. I think the first thing I'm gonna say is like I'm gonna kind of give you the context of where I'm at.
I need to give it some context.
Yeah.
On the characters, and then I'll give who I think is gonna win, kind of based off what you just said, and also based off my own assumptions. So excuse me, the Thor that I am getting is partly from the MCU, but actually is a lot more leaning towards the comics, and more than that, like older comics.
That's where I was getting his
like God King Thor, and you really start to see the Thor storylines, because Odin was a monster, and Thor was not that far off.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like he could kill gods. I'm pretty sure he did kill gods.
He did. Both of them did.
About the amount of godly entities, like the giants and things like that. Thor beats them pretty easily. The only one who we see that he fights that he doesn't beat is Surtur.
Right.
And the Lord said, "Let there be light," and voila, there is light.
Stay. Come on, stay.
Good. That's right. You stay here. Stay. No. Stay. Stay. Look there. Good. Stay. Nope. Good. Stay. Nope. Stay. Don't move. Nope. Good. Okay.
All right, this will work. I'm a little shiny, but it'll work.
Yeah. All right. So you weren't talking about Thor, King God Thor. And,
so God King Thor. I'm talking about So that's what I'm saying, right? Especially when you get Stormbreaker, because when you get Stormbreaker in the comics, it's like a big thing.
It's a wrap. For everyone else at least.
So for those reasons, I gotta say that I really think that Thor, or I think at the very least, I think Thor's power level, it can arguably be significantly higher than Diana's. I'm not saying he could take on Superman, but I'm saying he could make Superman hurt before Superman started really trying.
Right.
And then but then I'll also say, for the benefit of the doubt, with Wonder Woman, I actually do not know that much about Wonder Woman, in the sense of
You doing okay, bud?
I know some of her enemies. I know most of her powers. I know some of the storylines that she's been in, but I don't know the nitty gritty of her character as well as Thor.
And I think part of the reason is that she has her own comic series, in terms of the stories, but they don't keep restarting it. They just introduce her in a Justice League or something like that. They don't go back to her origin, or they don't go back to her storyline that much.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's
it tends to be the same.
Right. And so it doesn't change much. But that's why I was that's why between the two is difficult for me. That's why I said I would give strength to Thor slightly, but I don't know if I would count out Diana, because I feel like she would find a way to win. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Now that being said,
Thor may not always find a way to win. He usually relies on his strength.
And I will say too, I don't quite know the specifics of how the weapon works.
Yeah.
But that lasso of truth, if she gets Thor in that, because I don't think Thor thinks that much and can easily be restrained.
Right, that's a mental game where you have to win based on your mind. You can't actually win by strength. So that's why I don't know.
I don't know if it incapacitates you or anything like that, or if it takes your willpower to not be incapacitated by it. But
it's a little bit.
Thor can struggle with that.
Yeah,
especially because we've seen Thor struggle with magics and powers that
be easily influenced. He's
very easily influenced in the head.
Sometimes, and I'm not saying all the time. He's got some willpower. But
we haven't really seen him in an area where he has been exposed to something mental and been able to overcome it.
Right. I'm not. Yeah. That's just not to I guess cast his mental willpower all aside. That's why
bag on him, right? Yeah. That, or it'd be it's 100% not going to happen.
Right.
But if we wanted to consider that, I think given the evidence that we have, I'd say Wonder Woman probably would have that edge on him.
Right. That's why I gave the mental thing to.
He can use.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know that she can use something that hinders his mind, and we haven't seen him be able to resist things like that.
And I feel a lot of even what Wonder Woman can do is she can deflect power. So if Thor, that's why, remember when Thor faces Captain America, a lot of times he just puts his shield up and he just deflects it back, and it's he doesn't have to do anything other than.
I'm curious to see if those bracelets can.
If that can just kind of just shoot it back, would he just end up beating himself?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Right.
in a sense. You know what I mean? Like if he's like trying to take a big blow at her and she's just like boom back at, and then she can come in and attack using lasso of truth and like her shields and stuff like that. So I don't know. That's why that's why I'm giving the edge to Wonder Woman.
I most certainly think she's a fighting chance. Right. It's not this. This would be a competitive fight.
Right. Regardless. I don't know if there's a clear like the previous one. I don't know if there's a clear outright winner.
Yeah. But I'm not willing to say that Thor wouldn't win, but I'm not willing to say that he'd sweep either.
Right. Like that's why I had a struggle. It's like I like both these characters, and I know how powerful both of them are. But I think that in my heart of hearts, I feel like Wonder Woman would win.
And I mean, to Wonder Woman's credit, like we see what happens when Thor fights a superior combatant. Right. And in Thanos. Thanos is a particularly powerful dude, and he's a great fighter. But words.
Use your words.
Thor, being a god, could not take him down.
Right.
Even with help. Now, I was talking to a friend the other day, actually, and he was saying that Thor was weaker during that period of time where he was Fat Thor.
But but he had,
But I don't think he really was.
I think he just went, maybe. I don't know if he was weaker. Maybe he couldn't perform a lot of his fighting things. Maybe that was it. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
I'm sure that, like, the Thor that kills Thanos, in Infinity War, like, he goes and shreds through his chest, and he's like, you should have aimed for the head. I feel like maybe that was evident that if Thor, given time, would find a way to win. Kind of like that Goku argument. It's like, given time, maybe Thor would win. But also, Thor reels from his loss, I don't know. It's like I guess an empty victory, right? His empty victory. He reels after that, and you see, like, the aftermath, like, he's not himself. But I don't think Wonder Woman would ever, like, skip a beat. So that's why I don't know if Wonder Woman would beat Thor, would he be able to recover from that? Whereas, like, if Thor beats Wonder Woman, I feel like she's like, 2 days later, she's like, okay, round 2, let's go.
Round 2!
I think
and that
Thor
might
would be able to recover from it, because I'm pretty sure it's not, I don't think he's afraid of having a rival or someone who can exact what he was afraid of, and the reason why he reeled so hard was because he felt personally responsible.
Because he was the first one who had to meet him, right?
He was the first one. He was also the first one who was just, he had a fighting chance to actually kill Thanos. Right. And if he had aimed for the head, would have killed Thanos. Yeah. Because he didn't aim for the head, half the universe died. And I think that's what broke him.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. It's... But would I feel like this is an argument of, like, will more than anything. It's like, who's gonna win? And I don't think...
Which is very appropriate for gods. I think. Just at the end of the day, it's a battle of wills.
And so I don't think that Diana would let herself lose. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think Thor would either. But I don't think that Diana would let her... Would allow her to become even emotionally compromised. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like she's just so serenely superior in terms of intellect that it... Like, she could get...
There are very few times where you see Diana as, like, a morally flawed.
Yeah.
Or,
and so that being that
not strong-willed.
Right. And being that strong-willed, I don't know if Thor... Maybe she could find a way to get in Thor's head. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, because Thor is emotional. We've seen that a lot.
So emotional!
Even as a king, he's emotional. So stuff like that. So I don't know if she'd be... Would she be able to find a way to, like, win? Like, would he be able to find a way to win against her?
Yeah.
If she's, like, already, like, dominated his mind, like, could he recover? I don't know. That's my case. That's my case for that.
That's a good case, actually.
Yeah.
And it's convincing.
Right.
I think for my final verdict, honestly, that's a pretty convincing case. I might have to say that Wonder Woman actually might win if at the end of the day it was a battle of whose will is stronger.
Right, and I think that's what it comes down to. A lot of these, like, battles are against your, like, rival or equal opponents. Like, who's mentally tougher is gonna win. It's like, because even, like, Goku and Superman, it's like Superman would sometimes, like, Goku would not even allow himself to be like, yeah, I lost. Whereas Superman might say, like, we lost, we need to, like, go back and recover and, like, try again.
Yeah.
And then this one is, like, I think that Thor would be like, he could be mentally dominated by Diana if they're facing up against each other. Because Wonder Woman is not losing. That's my only case. It's like Wonder Woman will not lose. She's just not gonna let it happen. That's what I think. She's just
Good point.
Yeah. So my final verdict is Wonder Woman all the way, but like not easily, obviously.
Yeah, no, that's not an easy fight to win at all. I think that no one's coming away unscathed. In that fight.
For sure. But Diana of Themyscira, I'm not betting against her. You know what I mean? Like if I had to bet like, oh, who's gonna like save us, Thor versus Wonder Woman? One of them has to win. Who, if you choose the wrong person, you're annihilated. Like I'm picking Wonder Woman. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah. So continuing the theme with women who have iron wills, we can actually jump into our next battle, which is Merida.
I am Merida.
Versus Mulan.
My name is Mulan.
The two warrior princesses of the Disney franchise. Yeah. Two girls who are just they refuse to have to conform to tradition, to steeped tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah, they break the traditions that are stupid.
That's stupid.
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's just say what it is. They're dumb. Okay.
Yeah, no, they stupid traditions. They're like, nah, fuck that. I do my own thing.
Okay, so the battle of the warrior Disney princesses, both of whose names start with M.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that. That's funny.
I don't know the M battle. I don't know. Why don't you go first? Because I went first last time. I don't know who I'm picking.
All right. So, thinking about this one, and this one's kind of more difficult in my personal opinion, just because it's like two very different regions of the world.
Right.
But I gotta go Merida.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay.
And the reason for that is a couple fold.
Red Fury right there.
Red Fury, man. For one thing, she's been around like Vikings, and if we really want to get into like the historical aspect of Vikings,
we can.
Viking women weren't you didn't follow Viking women.
Yeah, like
Viking
women
easily kicked your ass as her husband could. They were still treated like property in some respects, but like they were hella
they
fighters.
Handle themselves, yeah, for sure.
And so Merida, I don't think really got a whole lot of training, but she very much is still very
herself,
accustomed.
though, right? Yeah.
She trains herself, and she's also very accustomed to that atmosphere, that warrior atmosphere, where I don't think Mulan was ever really accustomed to that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
from birth, I guess. You know what I mean? Birth.
Also, like you said, Merida is self-taught. Yeah. She 100% is. She is a powerful warrior, and it's all stuff she taught herself or stuff she learned through life. Mulan does get trained by a military general. That should not be discounted. Yes. She gets trained by a military general.
Her training's better.
Her training is definitely better, but it's also significantly shorter. Right. She got the training of a foot soldier, and I feel like Merida developing her own style and having a ranged weapon, which most Chinese, I think they had bows.
They did, but she could also. She also don't discount this. She did it on a horse. So if you're giving that moving. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's got to count into this, you know?
Mm-hmm. Now, Mulan can ride a horse.
Yes.
Probably not as well, though, in my personal opinion.
I think Merida was doing stuff where she's hanging off the
Mulan's horse versus Merida's horse, Clydesdale, is two completely different beasts.
Yeah, let's just, Let's just,
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
But for those reasons, I got to go Merida. I think she's personally I think she's stronger. Yeah. Just as a personality.
If I'm good. Yeah. If you're giving it based on strength, you know what I mean. Not just here, but also here. We're talking about physical has to play into it too. I think Merida is stronger as well, both ways. But Mulan, I'm saying Mulan. That's my pick. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people are going to disagree with me. It might be a thing. I don't know. We'll see.
You might have started something.
This might be a thing.
Comments, start a war. Yeah. But be gentle.
Yeah. Merida versus Mulan. Oh, no. Yeah. But I'm taking Mulan because it's for one, like you said, her training was significantly shorter. Mm. But if we're giving them both the same amount of training, let's say we do, Mulan's potential after that little amount of training was crazy.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, it exploded to something that you've never seen before. Merida's was like a lifelong thing, and it's like they're still comparable. So if Mulan's getting that type of training, does that mean like she's gonna be like, you know what I mean? The potential wise, she's gonna be way past.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw something at you then. If that's the case, and you're saying they both get the same amount of training, should they both get the same type of training? Because remember that Merida is self-taught.
Right.
If Merida was trained by, say,
military,
like the best warrior in the village, whereas Mulan was trained by the best warrior, he was a captain, and then his dad was a general.
Yeah.
I think, something like that. And so she's trained by the son of the general. Like, I personally feel like with that, I mean, granted, Vikings, they were just more brutal fighters. They did not focus on
another point for Mulan. So if we're giving them that, then I guess we're trying to like equalize, standardize it. I'm just saying based on Mulan's potential. You know what I mean? Like, if I can she'd find a way in a sense. Like, is that like what I was talking about with Wonder Woman? It's like, would she find a way to win? She also beats the Huns by herself, basically, twice. At least she annihilates like the Hun army to a little bit, like half of their numbers through that avalanche, right? Like Merida, like, okay, we don't really get to see Merida against, like, we get to see her against an angry bear, you know what I mean? And some other stuff, but nothing like a Hun army. So
I can definitely get behind that Mulan has a better tactical mind.
Yeah, so like she's like uses her elements, all that. Like you said, tactical mind. Mulan, I think she's in the right direction where she's thinking like a military leader, and that might be partly because she was a military trained person. This one's self-taught, right? More self-sufficiency, like trying to just protect rather than annihilate. Or like,
but even then, like, I mean, Vikings really didn't have much in the way of lists until much later. They mostly had guerrilla fighting.
Right, and so like, and the Chinese armies at least had this like Sun Tzu, Art of War, like strategy, very focused on that.
Oh, well, I'm just gonna go grab a sip of my drink.
So, Mulan has shown herself to beat tougher opponents, and might I say, with less. Because she doesn't have Vikings to back her. She's like, and then even when she has to beat the final Hun, right? Like at the temple, or not the temple, the palace, like the Emperor's palace and all that, and we get to see all that. She basically, she just outsmarts them, out-sword skills them, right? It's just a lot. So, like, I don't know. Like you said, the range of Merida, and like she's self-taught.
That's something. I will give you the fact that she's a more artful fighter, but something I gotta ask you is really, how's she gonna get past that bow?
I give you that, but what if Mulan doesn't even need to get past the bow and she just traps her under a rock slide or something, or like uses some trap set.
Okay, but now you bring in more components. Like, where are they fighting?
Right.
I mean, if they're fighting in like the fucking plains, there is no rock for her to.
Right, but there could be trap set. You know, there could be ground traps where she's riding on her horse, and in the meanwhile, Mulan is setting a trap where she has to get off her horse. You know what I mean?
I will say.
Tired?
I will say, if it's like traps, the Vikings, while they're not necessarily, yes, they are bumbling fighters. I won't deny that. They do also they're very good hunters,
right? And
they know how to set traps just as much as they don't necessarily know how to set like complicated traps, but they know how to like suss out a trap. They know how to survive.
But
so I feel like.
But Mulan's is military traps, you know what I mean? It's like, it's luring someone into a trap. Not an animal, someone, during battle. That's part of it. It's like, you have to fight, maintain your own life for a while, and then get them to go where you need them to go. So it's, I don't know. If I'm giving strategies, Mulan, she's on her side. And a potential-wise, I'm giving Mulan her due.
So you're saying, based on degree of preparation, if Mulan has enough time to prepare, she's smoking.
I'm not saying smoking.
Smoking!
But I'm still thinking it's a good fight. I just think that Mulan's, like, she had a month. Merida's been self-training herself for, like, 14 years at this point.
I don't think we talked about degree of preparation with Thor and Wonder Woman, but that being said, they're gods, so like.
Yeah, it's like.
I don't think I really, and neither of them really have a fighting style that promotes preparation.
Right, that's why I didn't bring it up, and then even and we did bring it up with Goku and Superman because we said Goku given enough time would win, so it doesn't matter. So, but this one is like preparation time. I think is on Mulan's side.
It's pretty important. Yeah, it's pretty important in this case
because Mulan is a strategist. You know what I mean? So
yeah, because like Mulan could do damage with those fireworks, especially depending on like where she.
Think about this. Think about this. Mulan is doing this while being not saying Merida is being held, as also she is being held back, but Mulan is doing this while being held back by her own army. Like her resources are like depleted. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's just having to use whatever's around her. Whereas Merida is like, at least she has her castle and all that. Like Mulan's out here like with nothing.
Nothing.
Like a sword, one sword, her daddy's sword. That's it, daddy's sword.
So what I will say, her daddy's sword. What I would say is that Mulan, given enough preparation, could beat her. But if it's like, I think if like they just were meeting at dawn in the middle of the woods.
Me, you, 7 o'clock. That's it. Like, yeah. we're not doing anything else.
You, me, 30 minutes, square up. Let's go.
Or not even. Just be like, square up. Like, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Hey, see these hands? See these hands? See these hands?
I think she's winning.
Catch them. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. I think Mulan's catching the hands if it's just a hand fight.
I don't know. It's just too difficult for me to say because it's like Merida's takes place, and she's already at this high level.
And I will say, if we want to talk about like strategies and stuff like that, Mulan might not see it coming, because one of the things that the Vikings really were good at was the element of surprise.
Right.
You didn't know that the raid was coming until the raid was there.
Right. So it's like, if you're talking about, but like you said, then it's like, then it's are we using everything we have? It's like, is there a set time?
Right.
And is it in the future? Because then Mulan's winning. With preparation, it's like Sun Tzu. It's like, with enough time, anyone can win a war.
Exactly.
So, but it's like, is it like, hey, all hands are off, we're just, whoever wins. It's like, Merida might have that one because she could be sneaky. You know what I mean? Mulan's sneaky too, though. You know what I mean? She took the whole army thinking that she was a dude. So it's like, deception is on Mulan's side. I'm going to give that one too.
Sneaky minx.
She also
they're both badasses. We can definitely agree with that.
Yes.
Like,
they're both dope. Because once I saw Merida, I was like, dude, this is so cool. But I never connected the fact that they were trying to, like, it was another warrior princess.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. Mulan is considered a princess, but she's not like born a princess, right? She becomes a princess.
No, she's not. But I think she is considered a Disney princess.
Nobility type thing. So
nobility.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're giving Mulan also those resources over princess, you're giving Mulan more resources. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Elevate that stuff, because Merida's got unlimited resources. Now, if you want to give Merida a plus for there, because she has more resources, because she's a princess, like actual princess, not just nobility, then you might have a point there, because I'll give you that whole arsenal might help her. Yeah, and so I don't know. That's a good debate though, but I'm picking Mulan. You picked Merida. I don't think we swayed each other one way or another.
I don't think we swayed each other.
Other than the fact that we know that it'd probably be split a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm saying my personal verdict is, if given enough time, Mulan would win. I do agree.
That's what I'm saying. That's
if she knows this is coming, Mulan is gonna win. She's gonna come up with something. Mm-hmm. I think in the moment, Merida's.
Yeah, Merida's like you said, like Viking, Viking beginnings, all that. Like that's adding into it. But I'm gonna have to add this in too. Mulan, when she has that avalanche thing, she has like split seconds to think about this stuff. Like she's good on the fly too. So I don't know if this is just a wipeout by Merida. You know what I mean? Like even though Merida has that advantage, like Mulan also has that.
I mean, Merida has quick reaction time.
Right.
It's
that's what I'm saying. That's why she does.
Scenario, but like it's seen, like she does.
That's what I'm saying. So both of them have it. So it's like, if let's say Merida comes in, surprise, bam. It's like Merida's gonna be like, Mulan's gonna be prepared with the counter, but Merida's also gonna be prepared with the counter to the counter. So that's why I think it's gonna be. It's not just gonna be a wipeout by either side, you know.
Okay, I'll take that back. It won't be a sweep, but it'll be a good fight.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
It'll be a good fight. Yeah,
but it'd be good. But Merida definitely has initial advantage, and then I think long term Mulan's there. Yeah, I'm thinking because it's like, if they're fighting to the death, then maybe Merida would win, because it's like she just wipe them out. But maybe Mulan can have a surprise attack where she just has a sneaky, like, I don't know, sword planted somewhere.
Pulled a sneaky on you.
Yeah, maybe she has a sneaky move where she's like, hey, guess what? There's a collapsible door under you. Bye. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she might have
Guess what? This room is filled with fireworks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or guess what? You see that avalanche over there? Yeah, I set it off. Bye. Like, just dips. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Peace out!
Yeah.
Well, she had a big dragon instead of Mushu that she could use to fly away.
So I don't know if she's getting if Mushu's getting an upgrade, because there's supposed to be a Mulan live action, right? It's supposed to be coming, and
Mushu got axed though,
and Mushu's not in there, right? So it's like, is there like a Mushu type of character that's like an aid or something? You know what I mean? Like a better Mushu,
A better one.
Mushu's comedic in the first one, but is this one more warfully
I don't even think they
tactful?
have comedic. Yeah, I don't think they're trying to go for comedic value.
Right.
In this
So is this one supposed to be more warfully tactful? Like it's just like an advisor or
I
something?
think so.
Would
I feel like it's going to be.
would that
for
help
some
her?
reason, I'm getting the direction vibe that I'm getting. Did you ever see that King Arthur movie with the guy who played Jackson Sons of Anarchy? I forget the name.
Yeah, something.
He was
like
also
that.
in Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him. I see it playing out kind of like that, where it's like big action scenes,
Big action, wartime type of thing.
Yeah, wartime slow mos, like really cool. They're gonna be focusing a lot on the effects.
I think so too. So I don't know. Maybe that helps. Maybe that helps Mulan's case too, though.
Hopefully.
Fighting ability.
I feel like there's not going to be a lot of dialogue in that movie. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I don't know where the dialogue's gonna fit in, but yeah. Okay. All right. To end this episode, we picked Goku to win. To recap.
Yes.
Call me Kakarot.
I think we both agreed on that. For Thor versus Wonder Woman, it's kind of split on that one. I'm personally leaning on Wonder Woman. You initially picked Thor, but you can see where Wonder Woman's coming from.
Yeah.
I also see where Thor's coming from because it's like he is a god.
God?
So,
Yeah.
so
He
they're
does
both
have
gods.
power.
So I don't know. And then Merida and Mulan, I think we're staying where we are.
I
I'm
think
picking
we're
Mulan.
firm to split on that one.
So that's a split.
Split!
And I'm picking Mulan, you pick Merida. And I don't think there's a wrong answer with that one. I just think.
We can feel free to disagree. I think we both have pretty good points.
Yeah. And I think Merida is definitely more skilled, because she has more training. So I give you that for all of them. But yeah, I think that's it for this one because this is a cool battle talk.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.
Yes, please post more. Tell us what other battles you want us to analyze.
Yeah, battles.
Or talk about the ones we have and see whether or not you agree with us, disagree with us.
Should we
Start
revisit
before the
it?
comments, but be gentle.
Yeah, exactly.
I promote arguing. I just don't promote being a bastard.
You're a bastard!
You're a bastard, Jon Snow. Anyway, so we're just gonna end it right here because guess what, guys? It's time for This Is the Way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.